I'm Shannon.
And I'm Holly.
And this is a Girls Gone Curious podcast, where we talk about things that make us curious. So grab your favorite drink, sit back and relax, because your show is loading. Today's episode includes the following trigger warnings: mentioning topics of suicide, death of an infant, and graphic descriptions of murder. This podcast is not suitable for children. Please listen with care. We apologize if we say any of the names or places wrong in today's episode. This week's true crime category is SVU, so let's get into it.
I want to start off by saying this isn't going to be a lighthearted case. And I mean, most of the type of cases we do are never lighthearted. But when it involves babies and children, at least for us personally, it takes it to a whole nother level. This case starts with a woman named Taylor Parker. Now, I normally don't go into detail of the criminal's background and how they lived their life. However, for this case, I think we need to go over some of it to help us understand this person is not a good person. That the crime she committed wasn't just on a whim, but really a planned event. And I mean, I'm not going into like her childhood and all that. I'm just going basically events leading up to.
Okay, the murder?
Yes. Taylor Parker was born on December 8th, 1992, and she was from Texas. By her mid-20s, she already had 2 children with 2 different men. Her firstborn was a daughter named Emerson. Her father is a man named Donald Whiteside. Her secondborn and her youngest was a son named Trey. He was born when Parker was married to a man named Tommy Wakasey. The marriage with Tommy would end in a divorce, and not long after, she would get married again. In 2018, Parker got married to a man named Hunter Parker, hence why her last name is Parker. Once again, this marriage ended in a divorce, only lasting until 2019.
Do you know if the men are still living?
Yes, I believe they're still alive.
Okay. I was just wondering if she killed them.
Yeah, no. Not that I know of. I mean, I don't know about Hunter or Donald, but I know Tommy is still alive.
Okay.
A few months would go by, and Parker would already begin yet another relationship. This would be with Wade Griffin, that she met at a rodeo. Wade was a countryman and often did odd jobs for work. One included a hog business. And I believe he would get hogs and sell them to other people or something like that. I don't understand the hog business, but something like that. From there, their relationship would take off. This would also be where the lies would begin. And I'm just going to say there's a lot of fucking lies. Basically anything that comes out of this person's mouth
is a lie.
Yeah. Parker would tell Wade that she was inheriting millions of dollars from a gas and oil royalties that her grandfather owned. She would come up with a ridiculous excuse for why she needed to move in with him. Parker claimed that her mother, Shauna, put out a hit on her and was also hacking into people's phones. I am assuming she was using the excuse of inheriting money as to why her own mother would put a hit on her. But like I said, take this with a grain of salt.
Right.
Actually, don't use any salt at all, because you can't. And if that isn't crazy enough, she would claim that because of all this, the Mexican mafia got involved, which led to a shootout with the FBI. But she said if anyone were to look this up, they wouldn't be able to find it because the FBI were keeping it under wraps.
Or because it's not true.
Yeah, more likely. Because Parker said she was inheriting all this money, she would convince Wade to spend his money. He would buy a truck, a side-by-side, cows, and much more. Wade would actually take out loans to pay for all of these things. So as you can imagine, he would become deep in debt.
Mm-hmm.
She would promise to pay him back all the money once she got the money she was claiming she was getting. At first, Wade's family thought Parker was this amazing woman, perfect for Wade. But as the time went on and they got to know her better, they realized something was off. Mainly a bunch of red fucking flags. And also the constant lying.
Mm-hmm.
Along with knowing that she has 2 children, but didn't have custody of her 2 children. They thought this was weird because a lot of the time the custody battles in the court sides with the mother. So something had to go wrong to where the whole court didn't see her as a fit mom. Either way, no matter what happened or how his family viewed her, it didn't stop the relationship between Wade and her. Parker would come up with this whole elaboration to try to gain favor of Wade's family. There was this land alongside the Red River in McCurtain County in Oklahoma. And they're living in Texas.
Okay.
I believe it's Simmons, Texas?
Mm-hmm.
SIMMS, I think.
Okay. Sims
or something like that.
Okay.
Sims or Simmons or something. This property was called Pekin Point, and it was a really good place for hunting. And Wade's family just so happened to be big into duck hunting. This property was selling for $4.7 million. And Parker would get a hold of the realtor for the property, offering $3.5 million. The realtor or owner of the property, Rusty, would take the deal with the agreement of making an earnest deposit of $200,000 up front. Wade would sign his name on a document, like his normal name, Wade Griffin. Then Parker would sign her name, Taylor Parker Griffin, which was weird to do on such an important document because she wasn't even married to Wade.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. But as you can imagine, their big duck huntings and for realizing that she lies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine that their family is like excited. Like,
right.
We're going to get this property. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
be able to go duck hunting. We won't have to. I think they were buying an area or like, I don't know, like renting an area to go hunting in.
Oh, okay.
And Parker's like, well, you won't have to worry about that anymore because I'm going to buy this land for you guys.
I mean, that's badass. Like, that's freaking
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
If you were telling the truth.
Right.
Now, she told Wade she was getting money from the gas and oil royalties. But she would tell Rusty that she actually was supposed to get a $7 million wire transfer from inheriting the Blackburn Syrup Company. And once that came in, she could prove to Rusty that she can pay for the land. However, it would never come in.
Interesting.
Yeah. So then, pretty much, she said that she would just use the money from the gas and oil royalties. But can you guess what happened? It never came in.
Shocker.
Yeah. So, once again, she would come up with another solution, or lie. Parker said she had an Uncle Butch that would pay for the deposit. Then once her transfer comes in, she'll pay the rest of it. At this point, Parker also added more properties to the list of what she wanted to buy. All of them equaled out to be around $20 million, which is fucking a lot of money. How many fucking properties was she?
Yeah, that's crazy.
She would even write out 2 separate checks for $150,000 and give them to Rusty, only for a very short time later to take them back. Parker would also give him papers and letters that were supposedly from the gas and oil places. These would pretty much say that she was going to inherit the money, but Rusty had someone look into it, and they told him that they were all falsified. And also, like, at the top of the letter, they had a... Like, I mean, this is a big company. It's like Shell.
Oh,
that
okay.
she's supposed to be inheriting. Like, it's $370 million in this company, and she's supposed to be inheriting part of it. But like at the top of the letter, there's like an AOL email.
So I don't think so.
Yeah, you're telling me this important document has an AOL email.
Is AOL even still
I don't know.
used? I don't think so.
Yeah. And I believe Rusty had someone like email this AOL account, and they're like, someone did reply, and they were like, oh, well, you don't need to know all the information because Wade and Parker don't approve of you going into like their account and looking at their stuff.
Which that's really weird. Rusty wouldn't have authority to do that. He's just the real estate or the owner. Like,
so well, I don't really know if he's the... I don't know exactly what he is.
Or not real estate, but the realtor or whatever.
Yeah. I think he's the owner of the property. I don't know exactly who he is. I'm just assuming he's the owner or realtor. Either way, they had to contact him about buying the property. Anyways, when Rusty tried to reach out to her bank account and anyone else he came across, Parker would get mad. She would go on to tell him that she knows how these things run. Her dad was a person who bought a lot of property. That Rusty could ask for the information about their bank account, but they can deny him the right. As long as she had the money, he couldn't look into their bank account. And I don't exactly know how, exactly all that works.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the truth or if it's the lie.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he wouldn't be able to like actually look in, like fully look at her account, but I'm assuming he just wants to know that there's like money in there.
Yeah.
Like they're not just pulling his leg.
Right. So he can, if she is full of shit, which she is, that he would be able to stop the sale and go with somebody else.
This situation would go on for about 4 months of a bunch of back and forth, and Parker would say that she has the money, but never actually having it.
Yeah.
And also, Rusty would call Wade and like try to talk to him about this stuff, and Wade had no clue what was going on. Parker wasn't telling him anything. The only part he had in it was they went together to look at the property, and that's pretty much it. This whole situation ended in April of 2020. Parker would call Rusty and tell him that the deal was off, that her mother had lied about her inheriting the money and even having an Uncle Butch. So she could no longer buy the property because her parent mom was lying about everything. Sure. Sure, we'll go with that. It is believed that Parker called off the deal because, 1, she didn't have the money, and 2, just a few months prior, she came out in December of 2019 that she was pregnant with Wade's baby. But if you thought we were done with this bullshit and lying, you'd be wrong. I have about another 20 pages of this. Wade's mom, Connie, had been wanting a certain car for years, and Parker would be kind enough to buy it for her. But this dream didn't last long. After only having it for a few weeks, Parker would tell Connie that she needed to drop it off at her house because there was recalls on it. Right from the beginning, Connie knew that after dropping it off, she would never see it again. And she was right. After dropping it off, Days and weeks went by with no news from Parker. So Connie would just call the dealership and ask what's going on. The dealership would say that there was no recall on it, but instead it was taken because no payments were made on it. Yeah.
Jeez.
Around this time, Parker also promised to pay for Wade's dad to get a new barn, since his burned down. But of course it would never happen. Angela Pate was related to Wade by marriage, and since Wade and Parker got together, Angela and her became close. Parker would often talk to her about her relationship problems and concerns. One of the biggest being afraid that Wade would leave her. She would also tell Angela about something that would contradict the fact that she was pregnant. While Parker was still married to Tommy, she underwent tubal ligation. This was followed by preeclampsia complications. The ligation failed and resulted in an ectopic pregnancy.
Ooh, that is painful.
She had correctional surgery in 2017 that ended in a full hysterectomy of the uterus, cervix, and one ovary removed. This was authorized by Tommy when she was still under general anesthesia. But she was saying she was pregnant in December of 2019.
Yeah. Does she know that she had a full hysterectomy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She knows she had a full hysterectomy.
Okay.
She told Angela about this whole thing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Before she was claiming she got pregnant in December of 2019. And I don't know the whole situation between, like, Tommy saying that it was okay and if that's what she wanted or not. So I don't know that whole situation.
Okay.
But either way, like, right after the surgery, that's when they got the divorce. So it could have had something to do with that, or that she's just a fucking crazy bitch.
Yeah. Could be a little sprinkle of both.
Yeah. So imagine this person coming to you and telling you about her whole hysterectomy, but then at a later date also saying she was pregnant. Angela had a very hard time believing Parker. She would tell her that she needed to make 100% sure that she was pregnant before telling Wade. Parker would tell her with confidence that she knew she was pregnant, even showing Angela the ultrasounds and her positive tests.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Later, Parker sent Angela a letter from the clinic nurse saying that she was pregnant. Most people would just give it like a glance over and call it good. But Angela took a deep look at it, and the letter basically said that the nurse who filled it out and signed it was the one that was pregnant. It didn't say anything about Parker being pregnant. But of course, Parker would have some sort of excuse and say it must have been from a mole that her mother hired in that clinic.
What the fuck?
Once again, Parker contradicts herself. Because she told Angela a while ago that her mother actually died from committing suicide. But didn't want to tell anyone else that she was dead because she didn't want to hurt her grandparents.
What the hell?
Yeah. Then at another date, Parker would say that her mother just showed up at a Christmas party. This time she didn't offer an excuse, but just said something that everyone was shocked because they all thought she was dead. But yet again, she said that she didn't tell anyone.
Right, she didn't tell anybody, and then that her mom had a hit out on her, like...
Yeah. It's...
wild.
Yeah. Shortly after this, Angela would receive an email from someone claiming to be Parker's mother. In this email, she goes on about wanting to ruin Parker. That she made up all these lies and told them to Parker So when people found out the truth, it looked like Parker was the one lying. Also saying that she hopes she offs herself and it was a mistake giving birth to her. If you want me to read the whole letter, I can.
I'm okay.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
That's
What
like the
fuck?
gist of it.
Yeah.
And like she words it really fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
She will go crazy thinking she did the right thing for a certain reason, but in reality, I made her think that way. She's kings for someone to love her, and when Wade leaves, because I've made her out to be a liar, will she come running to you?
What the fuck?
You can look it up, and I'm sure you could find it on pretty much anywhere. And yeah, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a bunch of fucking ridiculous.
So who is the letter addressed to?
So this letter was sent to Angela.
Okay.
This email, it was sent through an email, and she was like scrolling through her email and she found it like in a junk box.
Okay.
Or like a spam. And that's where.
So bizarre.
And it's also possible that the person it was from was going by Mandy Body, which is not even her mom. Because, like she said earlier, her mom's name was Shauna.
Mm-hmm. If that's even her mom's
Yeah,
name.
I don't know. It's...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if you want to read it, it's out there. You can look it up. Yeah.
Crazy.
Later, it would be confirmed that Parker actually wrote this letter.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Pretending to be her mother. Angela would later say, "It was so real and it was so chaotic." At the time, she and her husband actually believed that this was Parker's mom saying these things about her. Angela was still having a hard time believing Parker was pregnant. She would bring her to a Walgreens to buy multiple pregnancy tests. Most of them would come back negative, but there was one that gave a questionable result. So next she brought her to a clinic, a different one from the original one that she went to, that the letter came from. The one that says the nurse is the one that's actually pregnant and not Parker.
Yeah.
So Angela had to stay in the car while Parker went in because this was during the time of COVID and only one person could go in, and that was the patient, pretty much. Parker went in with only her ID and soon came back out with a piece of paper. This paper wasn't folded or anything, so Angela knew it was fresh from the printer, or at least believed it was.
Yeah.
As Parker was coming out, she had a confused face. The paper was almost the same as the letter she read before, but this time, with her actual name on it, Parker's name, it said that she was in fact pregnant and was due on September 22nd, 2020. Angela would also say later on that she has no idea how Parker got away with this or did it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, I'm assuming it was a fake positive or something because she said she came out with a confused look on her face.
Maybe it was all part of the act. Maybe she had a friend's urine, or she bought urine that from a woman who was pregnant.
Yeah, or took someone else's, or if their urines got mixed up.
Oh, yeah. In the little cubby hole.
Yeah. Wade's mom also didn't believe in this pregnancy. They would have multiple arguments about it. At some point, she even thought about hiring a PI to investigate it. But she never did. And even though she didn't believe the pregnancy, she would still attend the gender reveal party. Because after all, she is a mom and she wants to be there for Wade.
Mm-hmm.
They would reveal that they're having a baby girl and they were going to name her Clancy Gale. In March of 2020, Parker would post on social media about her pregnancy. She would also post about buying baby stuff and even made a registry. One of the first times she posted, she claimed her due date was September 22nd. But then on a different post, she would claim that it was on September 28th. In August, she would take maternity photos with Wade. And Wade had his own concerns. He was actually worried and felt like he wasn't ready for a child. I also want to say that he tried to get like documents about like to confirm the pregnancy from Parker and trying to like get proof.
Mm-hmm.
But she wouldn't necessarily give it, or she would give stuff that's not correct.
Mm-hmm.
Like the documents weren't like looked like valid or whatever.
Yeah.
Or was like the one that she showed to Angela.
Mm-hmm.
And he would try calling like the clinic and all that. But since they weren't married and it was around COVID and pandemic, he couldn't get any of that information. And he couldn't go with her to any of the appointments also.
So this is literally the perfect
opportunity
for her to lie through her fucking teeth.
Yeah. On September 15th, 2020, only a couple weeks before her supposed due date, Wade would receive some concerning text messages. This was from Tommy, Parker's ex-husband and father of her youngest. He would send him proof of Parker's hysterectomy. He would also tell him of her past and how she would fake medical incidents to gain attention. Parker's response to this was just that Tommy was lying and trying to ruin the relationship. And I'm assuming that this convinced Wade because he would just be okay. He's like, oh, okay, he must just be lying and Parker's right. Yeah.
But there's been several instances where her lying was proven that she was full of shit.
Yeah. The weeks leading up to her due date, she would reach out to an acquaintance. This would be Reagan Hancock, who was also pregnant at 35 weeks. Parker did Reagan and Homer, her husband's, wedding photos. She had one child already named Kinley from a different relationship and was pregnant with her and Homer's baby. Parker would reach out and they would begin talking on Facebook. Over the next couple days and weeks, Parker would visit and hang out with her, sometimes bringing gifts for her and the baby. September 22nd, Parker would get into contact with a man looking for hogs. She would offer a deal, a trailer of hogs for $6,000. But the man would decline the offer because it seemed like Parker didn't even know about the licensing and transportation needed to sell the hogs. And they were crossing state lines, so there was like a special thing they needed to do.
Okay.
Because this guy was in Oklahoma and they were in Texas.
Oh, okay.
On September 22nd, she would reach out to him again, this time with the licensing and everything figured out. But once again, he would decline the offer because he believed it was a scam.
Mm-hmm.
September 30th, Parker had an OB appointment scheduled and would arrive at it. But as soon as she arrived, she would begin hysterically crying, saying some BS story that her husband just died while on duty in the military and just asked to reschedule the appointment. The nurses, thinking that her husband just died, would say, of course, she could. They would even offer her a free sonogram, but she refused it. The nurses thought that this was weird. They would also find it weird when Parker would just sit outside the clinic and watch pregnant women come in and out of the building.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And after, like, crying and breaking down, like, oh, my husband just died.
Yeah.
You're just going to sit outside the clinic and...
Yeah. That's so weird.
Yeah, I probably would have called someone.
Mm-hmm.
October 5th would come around and there was still no baby. Remember, her due date was September 22nd or 28th.
Mm-hmm. Or somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Around this time, Wade's house would actually catch on fire. Luckily, it wasn't bad enough to harm or kill anyone. Police would say that they believed it was caused by a lighter. But it was big enough to knock out their water and power, though. And I will say they never really find who did this. So because of this fire, they would go to Wade's mom's house, Connie's house. While there, they would get into an argument. Can you guess who it was about? Parker and her pregnancy. While Parker was in the shower, Connie was talking to Wade. And Connie was upset because she found out Wade was taking off time from work for the birth, which would be normal of the father to do.
Yeah.
But this was mainly because he was taking FMLA, and she was afraid he would get in trouble if it came out that Parker wasn't actually pregnant, and then he would lose his job. And then once Wade goes into the shower and Parker comes out, Parker and Connie have a conversation. Parker would claim that she was actually supposed to do an induced birth that day, but it was canceled. Someone called in a bomb threat at Titus Regional Medical Center. Convenient. You might think, how do we know this was true and not just another lie?
Right.
But there was actually a bomb threat called to that hospital. 100 people had to be evacuated, and all procedures and appointments were canceled for that day.
Well, isn't that convenient?
Yeah. Now, if this information doesn't tell you what type of person Parker was, then let's just continue. By the end of this, I can almost guarantee that you'll see her for the type of evil person she is. Which I can assume you already see.
Yeah.
On October 8th, Parker would arrive in Reagan's driveway. She would sit there for a few minutes before leaving, only to return shortly after with Starbucks and a baby gift. They would hang out until about 10 p.m. that night before Parker would head home. Now, Parker lived in Sims and Reagan lived in New Boston, which is only about a 15-minute drive. And that's in Texas.
Okay.
Later that night on Facebook, Reagan would post about their hangout. She would say, "So glad I got to see you today. Missed you bunches. Also, thank you for the sweet gift in Starbucks." Parker would respond with, "You are so welcome. Glad you got your gift. Can't wait to see her in them. We need more girl days like today." Reagan would respond to Parker, just saying, "Yes, we do." And I'm assuming the baby gift was a little baby girl's outfit. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The next day, October 9th, Wade would leave at 7:35 a.m. to head towards a place in Oklahoma where he was selling a trailer of hogs. This would be the same guy that Parker messaged about buying the hogs earlier in September. As far as Wade knew, Parker ended up convincing him about buying the hogs. This would be a 4-hour drive away from their home. After Wade gets back, their plan was to take Parker in for her induced birth. Wade would even receive a text confirming the location and the price of $6,100. Wade would show up to the ranch, and the man who owned the ranch was confused as to why he was there. Wade explained that he got the message from him about the deal of him buying the trailer of hogs. This man would look at the number and tell him that it wasn't his. Seeing that Wade's last name was Griffin, he put two and two together that this was the deal from the woman named Taylor Griffin. The deal that he declined. Wade would still try to get him to buy the hogs, but the man wasn't budging. He would go back to his stable and have a farmer hand show him out. Talking to the farmer hand, Wade would convince him to try and convince the owner to buy them. Eventually, after some talking and arguing, they would agree to a deal. Wade would sell the hogs for $2,500 because at this point he just wanted to get rid of them. And I will say it was like 150 hogs in this trailer.
Oh my God.
So like he was just trying to get rid of them because he has so many hogs, and if this deal doesn't go through, he doesn't know what to do next. Except for maybe find another person who wants to buy them. But that could take months, weeks, months, days.
Wow.
After this, around 9 to 10 a.m., he would head back home with an empty trailer. Also, with no idea what was really happening at home. At 6:46 a.m., Parker would put $10 of gas into her tank at a local Easy Mart. After this, she would stop by McDonald's for food. Around 9:30 a.m., she would be pulled over by a state trooper for driving fast and erratically. As she was driving, she heard the sirens and would call 911 and try to explain that she was trying to get to Idabel because she was having her baby. But Parker would finally pull over, and this would be in DeKalb, Texas, which is a 20-minute drive from her home in Sims. And DeKalb to Idabel, Oklahoma, is about a 35-minute drive. But it is about an hour drive from Sims to Idabel, just so you can kind of get an idea.
Okay.
As the cop goes up to Parker's car, he notices a new baby that looks like to be in distress. From his view, it looked like the umbilical cord was coming from Parker's pants. An off-duty nurse noticed the situation and came over to help. While the cop was performing CPR on the infant, the nurse would tend to Parker, saying that they should really cut off her pants and see what's going on. At first, Parker denied, but eventually she would agree. As they were cutting off her pants, the placenta would fall out. The nurse would help her change into PJ pants Parker had in the car. Looking at Parker, she had blood on her face, hands, feet, legs, shoes, and clothes. But the weird thing was that they noticed that most of it was dried. And there was no blood on the driver's seat. Parker would begin acting hysterical, telling the police to put them in his car and take them to Idabel. Also saying that that was the only place she was going to. She didn't want to go to any other hospital, even though there was one way closer. While everything was happening, the cop would ask her how old the baby was. She would say maybe 35 minutes old. She explained that she was seeing a holistic midwife in Oklahoma. She was at a Walmart in New Boston when she suddenly felt pressure. So she left and headed towards Idabel. While driving, she just had the urge to push, and next thing she knew, she was giving birth. The only problem with this is, you have pants on. How did you get the baby out with the pants on?
Yeah. As someone who has given birth, I did not give one rat's ass if I was wearing clothes or not, right after birth. I don't care.
Yeah.
What the hell?
There's just a lot of weird
Mhm.
stuff. Before getting into an ambulance to head to the hospital, because there was no way they were taking her to Idabel when it was a 35-minute plus drive,
Mhm.
she would call Wade and pretty much tell him what happened, and she was heading to the McCurtain Hospital, which I'm assuming was the closest hospital
Mhm.
where they were. Now, if you're like me, I doubt you believe this BS story.
Not a second of it.
So let's get down to what really happened. At 7:22 a.m., Reagan, Parker's friend, got a text from a Google number. Then a second text from the same number at 7:49 a.m. Then after the two text messages, she responded at 7:52 a.m. Then at 8:30 a.m., Homer, her husband, would receive a series of texts from Reagan. But it was a bunch of weird texts that he didn't quite understand. These would be things like, just want to be happy, and it's not working. Homer would later say that this didn't sound like Reagan at all. Homer would send her one last text saying he loved her, but she never responded. At 9:34 a.m., Homer would get a message from their neighbor in New Boston that their puppy escaped. Also, that the garage door was open, which they found weird because they almost never left the garage door open. Homer would call Reagan at 9:36 a.m. and she wouldn't answer. He would try again at 9:58, 10:02, 10:04, 10:06, and lastly at 10:20 a.m. Still no answer. He would then call some family members and friends before finally just deciding to leave work and head home. And I believe he called her mother because that's who shows up to the house first. The neighbor would put the dog over their fence into Reagan's backyard. At 10:15 a.m., Jessica Brooks, Reagan's mother, would arrive at their house. She would find Reagan laying face down in a pool of blood. Immediately, she called 911. On this call, she was hysterical, as you can imagine, crying and trying to figure out what happened to her daughter. And a lot of it is just like crying out, not like saying like what's necessarily going on. She's like pretty much saying there's a lot of blood. I don't know what happened, and I believe she didn't want to roll her over because you don't know.
Yeah.
So once EMS got there, they would roll Reagan over and noticed that her stomach had been cut and her baby was gone. Now this next part is going to be a little graphic, so you can skip over it if you can't handle it. Reagan's body sustained 113 sharp force injuries, 10 stab wounds, and 98 incisions, 39 of them being on her head. This included jugular perforation, 39 blunt force injuries, a broken nose, and 5 skull fractures in different places, with also possible signs of strangulation. An improvised abdominal and uterine incision to extract the fetus and placenta, being cut from hip to hip with her uterus pulled outside of her body and cut. Many defense wounds, mainly on her hands. They were covered in bruises and scrapes. One of her fingers was dislocated, while another was almost cut all the way off. There was a bloody handprint on the fridge right below an ultrasound picture. A child's bathing suit was soaked in blood on the living room floor. There was a blood stain on the edge of the couch with clumps of blonde hair in it. And Reagan had blonde hair, so they were assuming it was hers. A blanket in the living room was soaked in blood and what they believed was amniotic fluid. Pretty much, there was blood everywhere, and it was gruesome. On Reagan's forehead, there was a circle indentation mark with a monogrammed H. It is believed most likely from a mason jar that was actually used in their wedding. It was 4 pounds and had pink and blue sand in it. There was blood splatter pretty much everywhere. Then in the bathroom and in the kitchen sink, there was watery blood stains, and they believed this was caused because someone was trying to wash something that was bloody. And then a white Croc shoe was left inside the home. They never say who the white Croc shoe is, but I'm assuming it probably had to be a certain person that is a bitch.
Yeah.
And there is more information out there about the crime scene and everything.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Homer would arrive to his home to it being taped off, and his daughter Kinley in the driveway. At 10:35 a.m., he called his neighbor to tell him that Reagan was dead. The call only lasted 30 seconds, if that. As you can imagine, probably in shock and I don't even know what.
Yeah. I don't
Now,
know.
yeah. Now, this gruesome murder all happened while Kinley was still in the home. It is believed that she was later found in her bedroom hiding underneath a blanket. And I believe Kinley was like 3 or 4 years old.
No, I was just going to ask, like, where the
Baby,
other baby
yeah.
was, yeah.
While this was all going on, Parker was at the hospital, and so was her supposed baby. It didn't take long for the police to put it together. And I do want to say they were separated as soon as, like, they even went in different ambulances to the hospital.
Mm.
So they separated Parker from the baby. At first, Parker refused to have an exam done. Shocker.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually it would happen. While checking her, they noticed that she had no cervix and that there was no blood or tearing indicating a birth. When an ultrasound was done and the blood test came back saying that there was no pregnancy hormones, it pretty much confirmed that she was not pregnant and didn't give birth. At 1 p.m., all local police were informed of a murder and a missing baby. At 1:22 p.m., the baby was taken off life support and pronounced dead. The doctor said that it would have been viable, but the baby suffered a lack of oxygen. Parker was arrested and charged with capital murder for Reagan, and eventually charged with capital murder and kidnapping of the baby. This baby would have been named Braxton Sage Hancock. She was 7 pounds and 18.75 inches long. In Parker's interview, she claimed that she had a headache and kept blacking out that morning. At one moment, she blacked out and woke up in a funeral home parking lot. She told Reagan about this, and Reagan insisted that Parker needed to come over and rest. Once there, she claims that Reagan began aggressively, pulling on her in a caring way. And then Parker said that she began having headaches and blacking out and coming in and out. And one thing led to another, and they started pushing each other. From the push, Reagan got so badly injured that she was telling Parker to just take the baby and save it. Parker said she used a scalpel from a medical kit she had in her car for the dogs when she was hog hunting. Once the baby was taken out, she said the cord was wrapped around its neck and she wasn't breathing. She slapped the baby's back and fluid came out. Reagan then just told her to go, and she did. And when she left, she said Reagan was still alive. Bull fucking shit.
Yeah.
When asked about the scalpel, she claimed she just laid it down next to Reagan. She also doesn't remember stabbing her, and she was trying her best to remember what she could. But remember, she was blacking out.
Yeah.
The scalpel would be found in Reagan's neck, not on the floor.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And it wasn't the whole scalpel, it broke off in her neck. Parker also mentioned that Kinley came out in the middle of everything. And Parker said she yelled at her to go back to her room. Reagan's phone was not and still has not been found. Parker was also questioned about the bomb threat at Titus Regional Medical Center, and she denied it. But it was proven that she used a voice changer to sound like a man to call in the bomb threat. And I'm assuming they knew that it was like a Google number and stuff, because they probably went through like the phone company.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming they didn't know the actual like text message.
Okay.
That's what I'm assuming, because I couldn't find anything about what those text message actually was.
What they said.
Mm-hmm. Parker would plead not guilty and was held on a $5 million bail in Bowie County. But, like, she confessed, but then said she's not guilty.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised she didn't use... Well, I had a headache and blacked out, so I don't remember what I said.
Yeah. The trial began in mid-September and ended on October 3rd, 2022. So it took, like, 2 years for the trial to happen.
Oh, okay.
Because the murder happened on October 9th, 2020.
Oh, right. Okay.
Just kind of...
Mm-hmm.
minding everyone out there.
Yeah.
During the trial, Parker remained emotionless. Her searches began around September 15th, 2020, about delivery more than ever. When she was at the clinic watching pregnant women come in and out, she was searching up their license plates. On October 9th, 2020, at around 4:28 a.m., Parker was searching and watching videos about C-sections and births at 35 weeks pregnant. How the fuck do you... This person is so fucking...
Yeah, so far beyond...
coming up with lie and excuses, but yet she doesn't... Like, she just searches how to do it. Like... How the fuck do you not think you're gonna get caught?
Yeah. The only thing I could think of is maybe she just assumed that it's not gonna stay on your phone. Like the type, well, once it's deleted, it's fine. No, it's...
No. Oh, man. Reagan died sometime between 7:52 a.m. and 9:14 a.m. Both Parker and Reagan's phone showed them moving from the Hancock home after she was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, Parker had to do something with the phone.
Right. She probably tossed it over a bridge or some shit.
Probably. The prosecutors had testimonies of doctors, witnesses, Wade's mom, Wade himself, and clinic workers. So you remember the first clinic she went to and that letter she sent to Angela.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking weird. I didn't add this, but I'm just going to add it now. That clinic worker knew that Parker wasn't pregnant and all of that. And I don't know if she actually wrote the letter or if it was someone else that
Okay.
she like faked the letter.
Yeah.
But either way, Parker seen this nurse, and this nurse is like, "You're not pregnant."
Yeah.
But then Parker would proceed to invite her to her gender reveal. You're inviting the clinic worker or the nurse that knows you're not pregnant to your gender reveal.
And the nurse doesn't say anything? Like,
she couldn't really say anything because of HIPAA.
Oh, what a sneaky little bitch.
Yeah. The nurse or clinic worker, she didn't go to the gender reveal because obviously that would be so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And like, why the fuck would you invite the person that knows that you're not pregnant to your...
So...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. The defense side would try to get her off the hook for kidnapping the infant by saying that the baby was a fetus, so technically the baby wasn't alive when she kidnapped her. But obviously that didn't work.
I'm gonna get so fucking...
They were like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No witnesses would come forward on Parker's side, and she would not take the stand herself either. The prosecutor's closing statement took 40 minutes, while the defense only took about 9 minutes. After only about an hour deliberation, they came back with a guilty verdict, sentencing her either to death or life in prison without parole. On November 22nd, 2022, Parker was sentenced to death by the Texas jury. Judge Tidwell closed the proceedings by saying, "You have been found guilty of capital murder and punished by Texas law to death. I formally sentence you to death. Take her to death row." Parker is currently housed at Patrick L. O'Daniel Unit in Gatesville, which is the primary detention center for female death row inmates in Texas. She is yet to receive an execution date. So you know how, like, the victim's family members can come and have, like, a statement?
Yeah, like an impact statement?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Jessica Brooks, her mother, would call Parker an evil piece of flesh demon.
That is Reagan's mom, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She would also say, "She was one of the very few people who cared about you. Now who cares about you? My baby was alive, still fighting for her babies, when you tore her open and ripped her baby from her stomach." That's all I could find on her statement, but I figured it was
powerful.
Yeah. Next is the first assistant district attorney, Kelly Crisp. She says, "The circumstance in which Reagan died are horrible, and there is no doubt it was torture. But a mother died fighting for her child. That's how she left the world. A woman who died fighting. Braxlin spent her living and dying moments in the arms of the person who killed her. What case would you give the death penalty to if not this one? Mercy is for someone who understands and acknowledges what they have done." Which I feel is very fitting for this case.
Agreed.
Then Reagan's sister, Emily Simmons, she said, "My only biological sister, you need to understand what you took from me and my family. No more celebrating her birthday. I was barely 19 when I got the call. My sister was gone. She will never be my maid of honor. If I visit my sister, I have to go to a graveyard and see his headstone. I will never get a text or phone call from her again."
Yeah, I don't understand why she's still living.
Yeah. Reagan Michelle Simmons Hancock was born on November 14th, 1998, in Hope, Arkansas. Her parents were Jessica and Marcus Brooks of New Boston, Texas. She had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. She was a member of the J.C. Cowboy Church in Louisville, Arkansas, and a customer service representative with Flying Burgers in Texarkana, Texas. She had Kinley when she was still in high school, but after that she eventually got her diploma. Reagan had plans to become a nurse. Her sister said that she loved unity and didn't like confrontation. She was an amazing wife, mother, daughter, sister, and friend. Parker took her life when she was only 21 years old, while also taking her baby, Braxlyn, when she wasn't even a day old. Braxlyn was beautiful and precious, and she was taken from this world way too soon. So, a couple mentionings. Kinley's biological dad passed away, so Homer began raising her. Since all of this happened, Homer has met someone new and has started dating. Reagan's family is happy for him since he still is only in his 20s. A woman that was incarcerated with Parker for 2 months said that Parker told her that at first she tried to cut Reagan with a kitchen knife. When that didn't work, she went to her car and got the scalpel to finish it. She also said that Parker told her that she held up baby Braxlyn to Reagan's face and said, "Tell Mama bye," before leaving her home.
What the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
my ears are on fucking fire right now.
they're fucking red. Around the time that Parker did her maternity photos, she went to a website called like fakepregnancy.com or something. And then that's when she brought a prosthetic belly.
Oh my god.
The only question I have about that is how the fuck did Wade not know that it was fake? Were they not doing it at all? Did she make him like turn off the light or something?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe she had, like she said, she had to wear like a belly band all the time. And maybe she said she didn't feel comfortable with her belly being shown. I mean, who knows what the fucking bitch said?
Yeah. I know they do make very realistic baby bellies now. But like, still, I just like, how the fuck do you not know?
Yeah. You're gonna feel a strap, or like if he's like rubbing her back or something, like, oh, I'm sorry,
That's why I gotta think like they weren't like together
Yeah.
anymore. And that they were
so
like
weird.
together just because she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also know that Wade's family said that Wade wasn't really like in love with Parker as much as Parker was obsessed with him.
Gotcha.
I don't really have any questions, but like, how about the fact that she went through so much trouble to fake a pregnancy?
Yeah.
She bought the belly, staged ultrasounds, built a nursery, had a gender reveal, and even scheduled an actual birth.
I don't understand. I truly don't. I don't give two fucking rats' ass what her excuses are. I don't care. I don't care if she had a shitty ass fucking childhood. You know what? I'm sorry for her as a child, but as an adult, fuck you. You deserve whatever's coming to you.
Like, I just, like, so many fucking lies. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, just the stuff that I talk about, that's just, like, the tip of the iceberg. There's so many other stuff that you can always go and look up if you want to.
Yeah.
But, like, it just got to the point, like, I wrote probably another page that I just crossed out because I just...
Yeah. It's so much.
It's so much, and there's so much fucking BS.
Mm-hmm. I don't really have, I guess it's a question, but it's more like a statement. All these people have doubts. Not a single fucking one was like, nah, you full of shit. Like, they were like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
And then she would explain some more, and it's like, no, it's still not.
Yeah.
Like,
the only thing I can say for that is a lot of them would just say she had an answer for everything and there was like no hesitation or nothing.
yeah,
But still, like, the fact that you say, like, oh, my mom was dead, but then she's actually alive.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, how the hell else would she have a hit put on her by her mother?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And then the fucking mafia involved and the FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Maybe some agencies should get involved, because who knows what else she's been fucking involved in.
Yeah. Probably fraud and... I mean, Tommy, her ex-husband, said that she faked a bunch of medical shit. How the fuck do you even schedule a birth when you're not pregnant?
Yeah, unless she went in with the fake belly and was like...
But, like, still, they check you out, get you information, all of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so... She obviously is a very good, what do they call it? Pathological liar.
And very manipulative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That poor little baby in the fucking room hiding.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I was losing it before then, but as soon as you said that, it was like instant.
Yeah.
Like, angry tears and...
Well, and the fact that she literally cuts the baby out and then puts her up to
her mom and like, tell her bye, you fucking cunt.
This one is, but like any SVU case, it's gonna be...
Yeah. Very...
heavy,
yeah.
And like I said earlier, this isn't a lighthearted case.
No.
And I mean, most of our cases, like none of our cases are lighthearted, but like there's a certain depth to when babies and children are involved.
Yeah.
Because they're innocent.
Yeah. They can't do anything.
Yeah.
They can't, I mean, like, they can't protect themselves. They can't.
Unless you're the serial killer that's 8 years old and...
True.
But like, I'm talking like infant. This baby wasn't even a whole day old.
Yeah. And the craziest thing is she couldn't probably afford it or whatever, but the way she was lying and everything, she literally could have adopted a baby, like right from the hospital, not brand new. Whoops. But like,
I have
literally a just delivered baby she could have adopted.
I don't think she had her children taken away from her. So I don't think she would be able to adopt.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she could have went to Wade and said like, I really want to adopt. But the thing is, he didn't want kids.
Yeah.
And I believe the only reason why she really did this pregnancy was, 1, attention, and 2, to
trap him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the cop pulled her over and he was like tending to the baby and all that, he asked her like, how far along were you and all that, and she said that her due date was September 22nd or September 28th. So they were like, so this baby's overdue. But then the cop's like, that doesn't make sense, and that's worrisome because the baby's small.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's another thing that kind of like red flag.
Yeah.
Everything is a red flag. Well, and like, if you're having a baby, I don't think you're gonna get blood everywhere. I mean, I don't know, but like, on your face, on your hands, on your feet,
unless
on your
you're
leg.
literally like...
I mean,
feet and legs, yeah,
I understand, but
your face and stuff, unless you're
your
hand delivering your own baby.
Yeah, if you're delivering it, maybe you wipe some blood on your face, but the way it sounded like she was covered in blood.
Yeah, and it was dried.
Yeah.
So no.
And from the sound of the crime scene, I'm not shocked she was covered in blood.
Yeah.
But the fact, 113.
Yeah. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's...
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And then, 38. 39 blunt force injuries.
So, probably from the fucking mason jar.
Yeah.
Or whatever else she grabbed.
Yeah. Well, she had a broken nose and 5 skull fractures. Well, in the jugular...
I'm assuming that was from the scalpel or the kitchen knife, because the bitch did say that she was trying to cut her with a kitchen knife.
Mm-hmm.
And then went and got the scalpel. And then which is probably the only true thing she fucking said, because they actually found the scalpel in in Reagan's neck.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that also says you're committing the crime, then you stop the crime, and you go to, you have a thought process of stopping it. And you could have, okay, this is wrong. This is horrible.
Right.
I'm a shitty ass fucking person, and could have called 911.
Right.
But instead, she goes to her car.
Yeah. And continues.
And then goes back in the house and continues.
At that time, Reagan possibly could have still lived.
Maybe.
I don't know when exactly she passed, but
it's
possible.
And I don't know if the baby was cut out before she passed or after. I don't know how all that...
Yeah.
I don't... Because if the mom dies, the baby dies.
Very, very shortly after.
Yeah, so... And, did she injure Reagan enough to where, she couldn't do anything, but was still possibly...
still breathing? So
or
she could cut
was
the baby
she
out?
doing it while... I just...
Yeah.
I
don't understand why she's still breathing. It's really pissing me off.
Yeah. It's fucking 2026. And she got sentenced in 2022.
But she's probably appealing and doing all the things.
Yeah, I seen there was a bunch of appeals, but I didn't want to go over them because they're all bullshit.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there's going to be some sort of... she's already been convicted and sentenced and all this and that. But I'm sure there's going to be something, bullshit. Oh my god, I'm so fucking angry.
Yeah. This is a fucking case. The January 14th, 2026, Parker's attorney filed for a Supreme Court certiorari extension. The cert petition itself, when filed, will likely target constitutional issues, due process, potentially the gender bias, fat shaming evidence arguments.
What the fuck?
Possibly the Born Alive standards, federal constitutional dimensions.
The baby took a breath. The baby was alive. Whether...
What the fuck does the gender bias and fat shaming...
Yeah, such a fucking crock of shit. So that's why they're saying that she was put on death row, basically, is because of her weight. Fucking bullshit.
What the fuck?
Has to do with the fact that she fucking killed 2 people.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the fact that she fucking...
Well, and this person, she's not overweight or anything.
So they're literally just grasping at straws. Literally whatever they can get to stick is what they're gonna do. Which... in all aspects, if you have a defense attorney, that's what you want them to do, is to literally come up with anything and everything to fucking get you cleared. But clearly, she is fucking guilty.
She's just trying to extend her time before the inevitable is coming.
Yeah. Unless she's going to try and get is she going to get a pardon? Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, swear a lot. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Parker is in her 30s now. She's like a whole, like, I think 6 years older than Reagan was.
And unfortunately, the baby never got to see first birthday, and Reagan never got to see her 22nd birthday.
Yeah. Never got to actually start going to college and doing nursing program. Wasn't able to see her daughter turn 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how old she was. I believe she was around 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. But yeah, she doesn't get to see her do all the things. She didn't get to see her second baby do any, like, anything.
Not even graduate probably kindergarten or anything like that.
Right. And that was a very heavy case, and I hope we get the update that we want. Our hearts go out to the victims in this case and all individuals affected. With that is all we have for today. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Girls Gone Curious Podcast. Until next time.